Hello guys, welcome to Disney Dreamlight Valley. Today we're gonna take a look at two ways how you can freeze your characters in place. This tactic is super useful for making some crazy shots with characters in Dreamsnaps and just simplifying your character work in Dreamsnaps. Now, first method is based on the new post by Knolan. He basically describes how he got all the characters to freeze in place using... So here's what he says. First of all, this method is completely safe. I have no reason to believe that it can harm your game in any way. After you enter a building or restart the game, the character become unfrozen and completely fine. So this is what Knolan said. Simply place the characters where you want them to be and trap them with items. After the characters are in place, you place Hades, Jafar, and Flynn and leave them near the characters for a few minutes. In this example, it took about 15 minutes. After that, you will notice that the characters no longer move and you can no longer bump into them. Then just remove the items and they will remain in place. This works on PC version. I don't know if it works on the other versions. I don't see why not. One important thing is to completely remove Jafar, Hades, Flynn, and Jack from near frozen characters after removing the item. Their animations can make the characters move a little and get out of place. So this sounds pretty complicated. I spent about 2.5 hours testing this out, and I've discovered exactly how this works and how to actually make it much faster and much simpler. Basically, first try, within 30 seconds, how to get your characters frozen without any guesswork, without any randomness. Thank you so much, Knolan, for pointing this method out. It led me to spending more time testing it and finding a pretty much foolproof way how to freeze your characters like this. And let me show you how. But before we do, if you haven't subscribed to this channel, please subscribe. I love making videos like this, discovering some cool features, cool tricks to help people get even crazier dream snapshots. And trust me, you're gonna want to learn this trick because it's gonna make the character work so much easier. Alright, so I've tested this. It works perfectly on any DLC in frosted, in floating islands and in the valley as well. So this is my setup. I have 5 enclosures when I'm gonna trap my characters. Let's say these are the spots where I want my characters to be in the dream snap. This is just for testing purposes. Now, obviously, you're gonna probably have a different setup for your shot. I'm gonna put a well. I also wall off this area just so there is no escapees and nobody gets in who doesn't need to be in. We're gonna start with Gaston. It doesn't matter. You can literally do this with any characters. There is 4 characters that have this mechanic that once they do their animation, they can draw attention of other characters. Now, there is 2 types of this. There is Flynn and Jafar, who actually draw attention of only the character they interact with. Like, Flynn does his paper animation, and Jafar does his hypnotize animation. So those 2 guys draw attention only of one villager at a time. And also there is Jack and Hades. Those can draw attention of the entire crowd, every villager in a close vicinity. And this is exactly the mechanic we're going to exploit today. So, first of all, in my opinion, from all my testing, the best characters to use for this trick are going to be Flynn and Jafar, not Hades and Jack. With Flynn and Jafar, you can literally get this to work with 100% success rate. For some reason, with Hades and Jack, it's still possible to make it to work, but it's going to require more trial and error, and it's going to basically take multiple tries. And some characters I weren't able to make it work with at all. Like, for example, I could not make Eve frozen with Jack at all, but she got frozen with Flynn from the first try. So, in my opinion, if you have either Flynn or Jafar, use them. It's going to make your life much easier. Another reason to use Flynn and Jafar is pretty much the chance of messing up after the character get frozen. The chance to get them unfrozen is pretty much non-existent. With Jack and Hades, I was actually able to mess it up, and occasionally they would unfreeze the characters that were already frozen, but it didn't happen once with Jafar or Flynn. So once again, those are my top 2 choices. The only reason to use Jack would be if you do not have any of the DLCs. Then you have no choice, pretty much. You can technically do this with as many villagers as you want, as many as you have patience for to trap. For this example, I'm just going to demonstrate with 5. Alright, so I have all of my villagers locked in. Now we're gonna bring the freezer, which, as I said before, the best options are Jafar or Flynn. I'm gonna bring Flynn since he is right here. The principle is gonna be the same with Jack and Hades. It's just not gonna work every single time. It might take a couple tries, but the principle is gonna be exactly the same. So I'm gonna grab Flynn. I'm gonna bring him right here, where my villagers are, and I'm gonna lock everything in just so there's no external forces affecting this. Okay, so before we begin, I want to show you a little test. How to test if the character is currently frozen or not. Well, besides the obvious that they turn around and do their animations, the easy way to fix it is to just come to a character and point your selfie camera on them. If they do not do their animation, if they do not do their selfie animation, that means that they are not frozen. As soon as character becomes frozen, they're gonna be able to perform their frozen animation whenever you point the camera to them, even when they're locked in. So that's a good way to test, to make sure if the character is frozen before freeing them. So now, how do we freeze characters? Well, it's very simple. The way the freezing works, why does this glitch happen? And it is a glitch. It's obviously not intended behavior. Flynn is gonna come to some villagers and try to talk to them and show them their poster. And if, for some reason, this interaction gets interrupted, the characters are basically locked on Flynn. And if for some reason Flynn decides to stop interaction in the right moment, the characters are just gonna stay frozen and you won't be able to do... They're not gonna want to go anywhere. They're just gonna stay there. So this is what we're gonna do. I'm gonna stop hanging out with Flynn. And just to demonstrate, let's just watch him do his animation with one of the characters. Right now, he's doing it to Elsa. If he just does it normally, if you let it play out until the end, nothing's gonna happen. Elsa is gonna be like, "What? Your nose is not right?" And she's gonna be confused and everything. And as soon as the animation ends, she's gonna be back to normal. She is not frozen whatsoever. You can test it by just using selfie camera. She does not do her selfie. Wait, did she get frozen? No, she did not get frozen. That was some weird glitch. She turns around, that means she's not frozen. Okay, so now let's see what happens if we interrupt the interaction when Flynn decides to talk to somebody else. This way you're gonna have to freeze them one by one, but I still find it much more reliable than using Jack or Hades. Maybe I did something wrong. I tried to interrupt their animations multiple times. It worked like maybe 1 out of 10 times. So it just feels much more faster and reliable to do it with Flynn, even though it is still going to take some time. Alright, so he is starting... Oh man, he started to work on Elsa and he got interrupted. That actually means he might have frozen Elsa right now. Now he's working on Eric, which means I can interrupt him by taking a selfie of him. Trying to point a camera on him, and by this point, I think Elsa actually got frozen from that interaction. Look, she's frozen. She does her selfie animation. There we go, one character done. Elsa got the spell cast on her. Let's wait for the next interaction. Let's see who else Flynn is going to talk to. And the best part about this, Flynn is not going to try to talk to Elsa anymore. Elsa does not exist for him any longer. Only the characters that are not frozen can become the next target of his interaction. It does take some time, but I feel like it's still better because it's not random anymore. You basically have full control over who gets frozen, and since she's not going to get interacted on anymore, she is not at risk of becoming unfrozen once she gets frozen. So as you see, it doesn't happen only when you interrupted yourself. It also happens if you interrupted by just interrupting his animation. Like, look, Gaston just got frozen. Let's see if we can make Eric frozen. I'm just gonna try to interrupt his animation. Let's see if Eric got frozen. We interrupted it. And quick test. Eric is frozen. He does his animation. Gaston is frozen. Gaston, are you frozen? Oh wait, Merlin is about to get frozen. I don't think I froze. Wait, did I freeze? Did I freeze Merlin? I don't know if I did it in time. And I think he might be working... I don't know who's he working right now. Maybe Tiana? I'm just gonna interrupt him just in case. Alright, let's see if anybody else left who wasn't frozen. Tiana just got frozen. She does her animation. Merlin does his animation, Eric does his animation, Elsa does his animation. Everybody's frozen. As soon as you froze everybody, you just take Flynn out. That's it. That's it. Just interrupt his dialogue by pointing a selfie cam on him. I haven't tested if it works with just trying to talk to him while he talks. I don't think it does. But pointing camera on him, or if you, for example, approach him, if you're far away and then approach him during the conversation, anything to get him distracted from talking. But the selfie camera works the best from my experimenting. So once you're done with this, once everybody's frozen, just get the Flynn out, and then you can take your shot for your dream snap or for whatever you were setting the shot up. I can literally just go and remove all of the stones now. Only takes one character to freeze them. It took literally, I would say, couple minutes, and that's it. They're never going to move again. No matter what you do, as long as no other character who can do interactions can get to them, specifically Jack or Hades, they're never gonna move. You can even use the well, and they're still not gonna move. The only thing that can make them unfreeze is if you go inside a house or a restaurant or teleport outside of the valley. Then when you come back, the characters are just gonna be dispersed. But now, the best thing about it is also if you point selfie camera on them, they're gonna do their animation, but they're not gonna move towards you. They're just gonna make it in place. That's so cool. But yeah, the characters will also face your camera. So once you you can make sure everybody's facing you before you take the final shot. There we go. We got 5 villagers not going anywhere, just facing your camera and ready to pose for any shot imaginable. This trick is game-changing. And considering how easy it is to set up, it would take so much longer. And it looks so much cleaner than putting obstacles and just letting them... The only downside is that they cannot do their idle animations. That is a little bummer, but, well, I think it's a small price to pay. Oh my god, so after I did all of this research, spent 2.5 hours figuring all this stuff out, I stumbled upon this comment by WolfWearingWolfPants, who basically said everything that I discovered during my research, and then some. So thank you so much, Knolan and WolfWearingWolfPants. So much great tips. I'm gonna show a couple more tips that I didn't know about. So here's a few of new useful things I learned from this comment that's gonna make your life even more easier. So there is an easier way to interrupt the animation. Instead of doing the selfie camera trick, you can just go into the furniture mode. So just wait a couple of seconds since the animation started, and then you just go into the furniture mode and exit, and apparently it's enough. Merlin now should be frozen. Yep, he is frozen. Easy. Wow, this is so much easier than using selfie camera mode. And another thing that I just learned that absolutely blew my mind. If you have a character that is frozen, there is actually a way to unfreeze them. And the way you do it is you make them hang out with you, and then you go into the water and just cast a fishing rod. Just like that. And Merlin just disappeared and teleported here. So now he's completely unfrozen. This is incredible! Okay, let's see if it works with Hades. Can he freeze both characters at the same time? So I'm gonna go into furniture mode once he starts doing his animation. Let's see if it works. Because it didn't work with selfie camera, at least not consistently or reliably, so I'm kind of curious. Alright, he's doing his animation. I'm gonna go into furniture mode. Exit. It doesn't work. I don't know why. It only works with Flynn and Jafar. So if you ever get a character frozen and not doing animations and not being able to interact with, and you don't want to restart the game to make it work again, just go and fish with them. Such an amazing solution. Look at this epic shot. Everybody's frozen. Imagine just decorating around them and making sure that every character that you planned, you can put them in the precise spot without needing to use any dividers, any items to separate them. This is literally the best way. Now let me show you the second way. This one is not as amazing as this one, but it could still be viable. For the next trick, we're gonna need some touch of magic items. It could be anything. The smaller the item, the easier it's gonna be. You're gonna be able to do this. I think the best one is going to be either the chair or basic side table, they have like the smallest footprint. You could also use basic lamp, whatever you like. It doesn't really matter. I'm just gonna do 3 villagers this time because, once again, the principle is the same. There is some benefits to this method. There is also some drawbacks. So I'm gonna take some of these chairs. Wait, not chairs. I bought a bedside table. I guess I'm gonna... Oh, maximum amount of designs. Interesting. Gonna go add new. Gonna go basic side table. You can make it some color, or you don't have to. It's fine if you just keep it the default. So now we built a little prison for characters. Let's say if we're gonna do 3 characters, we can build it like this. And then we're just gonna have to move this to the side just so we can trap characters inside. And let's bring our characters. That's a cool way to take some interesting shots. If you find a way to break them in the middle of the conversation, then you can just place them wherever you want and then just force them doing their animations. That's so cool. Oh my god, imagine that for a dream snap. Look at it, Moana. Okay, so now everybody's locked in. So how this works, when we go into photo mode, we basically have this option to hide touch of magic items. And there is one benefit to this method, is that you can actually capture characters doing their idle animations by removing the furniture at the right moment, then snapping it. That is the benefit. There is a drawback, though, is that once you hit that R1 and remove the touch of magic furniture, the characters are gonna try to get out. So you need to take a shot, and then basically you're gonna lose all of your characters, and you have to basically reset the entire thing if you don't get the perfect shot. So for example, I want to get one of the idlest animations, so I'm just gonna wait to cancel out the thing, and then I'm gonna snap it. Merlin, nice idle animation. So just like that, you can take a shot, basically without with all the characters, absolutely nothing holding them together. You can combine this with putting a Hades or Jack in front of the camera, just so he can draw their attention, so they can turn towards him and do some cool animations. But then when you go back from the furniture mode, they're all gone, because yeah, once you take a picture, you won't be able to put them back in, so they're all gonna escape, and you have to set up the entire thing again. So once again, pretty cool option, but a lot of limitations, and I personally prefer the first one, even though it does sacrifice characters doing idle animations. At least you can get them in perfect positions. In most cases, it's more important. If you really need them to do their animations, honestly, it's probably better to just lock them in with some items that make sense to a specific scene. This method is just, it would drive me crazy because of the amount of resetting of the shot that you're gonna need to do. But it does provide unique opportunities if you make sure that you take one and only shot, and that shot is gonna be perfect. Like, you literally wait for the perfect moment. All you need to do is to just click R1 to hide it, and then the shot immediately before they escape. Easy peasy, right? Anyway, these are 2 methods how you can get your characters in the perfect spots without having anything around them visually. Let me know in the comments, what do you think? Thank you so much, everybody who contributed to this video. I have no idea who came up with the touch of magic hiding trick, but it's been circulating for a while. But Knolan, as far as I know, came up with utilizing the glitch of freezing characters in place. And I think I contributed a little bit too, by basically making it much easier to trigger and streamlining the whole process. You can basically freeze everybody in place, and it's going to be flawless. You can spend an hour after that working on your shot, on the lighting, and focus on other factors. Your characters are going to remain in the exact same spot you froze them in. No restrictions, no tricks. Perfect. Anyway, hope you enjoyed. Subscribe for more. I'll see you in the next video. Take care, dreamers.
Oh, nice day we're having, isn't it?
Oh, it's wonderful. Woohoo!
Amazing. Gotta tell you, it is really beautiful here. Hey, nice to see you.
Oh, hello.
Are you seeing this?
Oh.